Good morning. Okay, so we're going to try to share this broadcast again. Give me just a moment if we can get them to share it. Oh, nope. That was not good. Okay, we're getting in and we are going through the motions. Yeah, I am learning how to use Periscope, so I appreciate your patience as I get my sensitive camera to do this. If you guys could share this for me, I would so appreciate it. Hey, hi. I think I saw Ray join the room and someone else. Make sure you say your names. I'm trying to get settled and situated. I got my tripod going. And hey, Nikita. Hey, Cassie. Hey, how you guys doing? Make sure you guys share because I was having a problem with sharing. I didn't go to Twitter, so I would love for you to share. Give me some hearts. I'm gonna adjust my camera a little. Like I said, I got a new tripod, which I'm kind of excited about. Like I said, the tripod was only like $12, and I got this attachment on the tripod on Amazon. And I'll probably like talk about it on howtoebook.org. So make sure you go there and sign up for the blog. But I got an attachment so I could just put my phone literally on the tripod, and it's awesome. I can get comfortable and sit where I want to sit, do what I want to do. I can adjust it however I want on the floor, in the air, or anything. So I like it. Oh, well, if you don't know who I am, as we're getting everybody in, hey everybody, good morning. My name is Sylvia Hubbard. I am author of over 37 suspense. On Saturday, there will be another writer form. I'm sorry too. Which is it at that library, at the main library, Nikita, or is it at another library? Let me know. Uh, what is it? I am author and founder of, hi Dan, of over 37 romance novels, and best-selling, award-winning author, of course. Hey, and I think you're coming to ours because I think we're the only one. We're the only writers group there. I sure I didn't. I've never seen another writers group there when we're there. I'm also founder of Motown Writers Network, which is you're so silly. Which is a literary organization based out of Detroit, but we serve Michigan authors and we help them get to their literary goals. And we connect authors, we connect readers to Michigan authors. We've been established since 2000, and I can tell you I've been publishing, independent publishing, since 2000, and I love to share the knowledge. So I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to try to get everything out in 1 hour because editing these periscopes are no joke. I'm still working literally on the blogging one, and that's been a tough one. So we want you to get your paper and pen. Every time I go to I do a workshop or a discussion, I always tell people, go ahead right now, take paper and pen while I'm piddling around doing the introductions and everything. Are you going to scope for those of us who can't make it? I'll see if I can try. I've never done it. Maybe Nikita, if you are there, you can make sure you scope. We'll do a special scope. I'll have Keith Gaston there. Can I come get one time to go over some things? Yeah, I have consultant. I have a consultant. You can go to howtoebook.org, go to the products page, and you can actually book me. Book me and Cassandra. We still need to set that up for this week. Not this week, next week, because that's when I'm going to be actually free. I had so many appointments this week. Yep, howtoebook.org. But actually, Saturday, if someone could remind me, y'all can send me a text on Facebook and say, don't forget to try to scope this morning because I get so overwhelmed. Yeah, Cassie, give me a text. Send me a text Saturday or Sunday, and I'm gonna look at my schedule and we can actually do that. The Google Hangout. I'll try. I'm gonna really try because that'd be cool. Keith is Keith Gaston is going to speak about his sci-fi. He'll be there Saturday. If you don't know, like I said, I'm a Motown Writers Network who is listening to the replay, who's listening on YouTube. We meet every second Saturday at MotownWriters.com. Motown Writers. We meet every second Saturday at the main library from 10 to 12. And you're on Facebook too. Yep, Sylvia Hubbard. Sylvia Hubbard. You can find Sylvia Hubbard everywhere. I'd be like, Google me. Hey, Sharon. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. We meet every second Saturday. You can go to MotownWriters.com to find out more information about that. Just join our meetup group. Hey, Confidence Curator. Thanks for joining us. And then upcoming events that I have. Tomorrow, I'll be speaking at DuPa's Writing Group on how to get your writing together for 2016. Hey, Pink Sun. How you doing? And then I have a bunch of events coming up. If you check my Amazon page, that's where I literally put all my authors' events now. I just got back on the horse of doing events, and I know Cassandra's been out there through my struggles. Started doing events, workshops for everybody. So to keep up with it, I actually added to my Amazon author page, and you can go to amazon.com/author/Sylvia Hubbard, or just look up Sylvia Hubbard on amazon.com. You'll actually go straight to my author page, scroll down to the bottom, and you can actually see a Hey Hat Letty Sing. So we're going to get started. I was giving everybody about good 8 minutes to get into the room. Get your pencil and your paper out. If you haven't downloaded the resource for what I'm about to talk about, you can actually go to howtoebook.org and download actually the PDF to the mini publishing guide for free. Or you can just go to the blog and hit the click button, add to cart, and you can actually download the PDF of what I'm going to talk about. It's actually an independent publishing presentation. Now, I'm going to talk about paperback publishing. So if you've paperback published, give me some hearts already. If you're already independent published, give me some hearts. I would love to know if you have, if you're in the room, and if you're already paperback published. We're going to be, ebook is a whole different ball game. I don't try to do those two together because it's a huge, do you have any resources on there for ebook formatting? I will have some resources. Remind me at the end. I'm going to remember at the end, ebook formatting. So at the end, I'll actually put that in there. And then if you can't stay, just come back and listen to the replay. I'm actually writing that down, ebook formatting resources. But I want to stay on topic right now. So we're going to get to print book publishing and how to do it. It is, and actually I would charge $150 because it's a headache. It's a big headache to do it. I did, and then just this magical resource came out of the air, and bam, I can show you how to do it really fast, really simple. Actually, once I give you the resource. So I'm going to save that to the end. So let's get going. So how to independently publish a paperback book. You guys ready? Got your pencils and papers, and let's get going. Hey, JP, thanks for joining us. We're about to get going, so get your pencils and paper out. Okay, your journey to publish your literary work. Like I said, if you guys could share, I'd appreciate it because I was having trouble sharing, and I'm still trying to work out my my LG to my Periscope. So I went on the indie publishing journey in 2000. I had been sending my everything out to publishers for years and years before that. I just knew I could do this. And a friend came to me and she said she found this resource for a print-on-demand publisher. And everyone used to come to me because I could research really well, which is kind of why I started Motown Writers Network. I would get all that research together, put it in a newsletter, and people started reading these newsletters. But anyways, I saw this company that was actually publishing for free. And I was like, ooh, let me see if they'll do it. So I had a book. I had actually just finished a book. And I sent it to them. And 2 weeks later, they sent me a paperback book. And they were like, congratulations, you're an author. And I was totally terrified. It was like it was worse than when I found out I was pregnant. Because it wasn't really like, I started panicking because I'm like, oh my God, I got this book in my hand. what do I do? So I actually learned backwards. At first I learned how to market. Then in 2004, I spent literally 4 years teaching myself how to publish a book, because I needed to do it without breaking the bank, but come out with a professional product that could compete with, New York Times best-selling products. I wanted to be able to, have my books on bookshelves. I had a lot of international readers who were frustrated about, hey, I can't get my hands on your books. So I was like, okay, I need to do this right. I need to do this logically, and I want to make sure that people can get their hands on my books, whether it's print or ebook. So the paperback journey was a rather arduous one for me. And due to the fact that I was limited in financial resources, being a single mom of 3, and working, I think back in 2000 and 2003, I was making $21,000 a year, literally $21,000 a year, and trying to be a self-published author. So yeah, I had some dreams. I had some dreams up in here, but I said I could do it. So if I did it with 3 kids at $21,000 a year, you guys can do it. Trust me. Trust me. And back then, it actually did cost more back then to publish a book. So, yeah, you just got to keep believing and keep doing it. And I usually don't take no for an answer. And I always figure it's always another way to skin a cat. And I learned that from I call him Daddy Hubbard. That's my daddy. He always found a way. So we're going to get into it. So the first thing you have to know about, of course, paperback publishing is that you do have to finish the book. You can't come out with a half book. Hey, authoress TJ. So you do have to finish the book, okay? We have to have a finished product in order to be a paperback book. Now, the technical part about all of this is to become a business. We have to be about business. Once you decide, I'm going to publish this book for people, you have to become a business. We can only ghettoify stuff for so long. Hey, thank you. Aw, thank you so much. But you can only ghettoify stuff for so long, so you should be about business. Go get a DBA. Go get a bank account. Set up a PayPal. Get it verified so you can accept money. These things. Get your LLC together. You can do a LLC for you as really cheap for your own. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars now to set up a business, and it can be done in less than 2 weeks. All of this, bank account, LLC, DBA, everything can be done in less than 2 weeks, So you want to be about business and conduct yourself in a business way. Now, yes, you have the book finished, and yes, you're going to be doing the technical stuff in the background, but also once you're about business, you can't go get a storefront, but make sure you have a website. That is your store. Treat it like your store. Pay attention to your store. Go to your store at least once a day and be about business in your store. Share stuff on your social networks and set people up to know that, hey, I'm about to publish the book. Now, the reason I say this is because it helps your marketing in the end. We're not going to touch on that, but this is about business. So you want to set your business up to succeed. So you want to be able to have your store, your website together and get it done. So first part is become a business, DBA, LLC, get a bank account. Get a PayPal account. Now you can say, "Hey, my credit is bad," and trust me, my credit was bad back in 2000. My credit was bad back in 2000. So what I did was I got a credit union account, which you can open for less than $10 sometimes, depending on who you affiliated with. Sometimes $5, but you can actually open up a savings account just for your business. Even if you credit bad, you can have a credit score. I had a credit score of like 400 and something back in 2000 and something. I was going through my divorce and everything, and I had close to $50,000, $60,000 on in debt. Yeah, so I had a credit score. So actually, that's what I did. I got a DBA. I was able to get a credit union account. So there's no excuse. Hey, Kojo, how you doing? I haven't you in years. Okay. The next part about being in business is get your own ISBNs. You can go to bowker.com, BOWKER.com, and you can get your own ISBNs. Name your publishing company when you get your DBA. Go to bowker.com, have them deliver it to you electronically. You don't need to buy back in the day, you used to have to buy the barcodes. You don't have to buy the barcodes anymore. Most publishers, printers will set those barcodes up for free. You just need to buy the ISBNs, which is like, I should have a book in front of me, which is like your social security number for your book. So make sure you can afford the 10. Do not get just the one. The one is just $99 plus registration fee. The 10 is $250 and plus registration fees. Now, the reason why I say this is because you're going to not only put this book in paperback, but you have to use a new one for the ebook, the audio book. In case you do a workshop, you need a new ISBN for that. And then, of course, we're setting our company up to be about business and for success. So we will be coming out with more books. So you want to go ahead, it's actually cheaper to go ahead and buy the 10 in bulk than just buying one at a time. So BOWKER.com to get your ISBNs. So now we're at $250 and probably a couple of change for the DBA and stuff, so forth. So now we're probably at about $300 to set our business up. So the next thing, once you have all of this together, as you're doing all this, you're researching for editors and cover designers. If you don't know how to do it, if you're not a professional, don't try to design your own cover. And I always say, never edit your own book and get it out there. I don't care if you are a professional editor, you shouldn't do it. There are 3 types of independent publishers that you can become. Now, the first one would be straight DIY. That means do it yourself. You're putting on all hats all the time. You outsource things like editing, and you outsource things like cover design, but you make the decisions between how the pages are going to be set up, what color paper you're going to use, what color book cover you're going to use. Will it be matte, glossy? You're making all these decisions, including pricing decision, distribution decisions, percentages, and stuff like that. That is the entire DIY from beginning to end. You're making choices. No one's taking that decision from you. That is DIY. You've got this company as yours. You're setting it up, and you're going to be spending some money. You do spend a lot more money as a DIY, but in return, you get a lot back. Now, the second one is called an indie print. Now, an indie print allows other companies to make the technical decisions. They choose between paper, matte, gloss on the cover. They all have their own ISBNs as well. There's other decisions that they make. Yes, I believe people need to get a pro editor. Nothing worse than ordering an awfully edit. True, very true, Sharon. And I learned the hard way. Of course, I was trying to shuck and dive a lot of times in the past, but now I'm getting all my old books actually re-edited, professionally edited, because, I'd use cheaper editors, get a professional editor. I'd use people, hey, I'm trying to be an editor. Can I use you? Can I use one of your books? So they could read it for free, but then they wouldn't do a good editing job later on that I found out. So I want you to be able to get a professional editor. I'm getting my coffee. But in number 2 was indie print. You don't make a lot of decisions about the price of the book, because when on an indie print, you're actually using another printing source, a print on demand source, in order to print your books. For the DIY, they actually get their books as bulk. That means they're ordering at least a minimum of 5,000 to 10,000 books to make the price cheaper, because you get to buy your books cheaper, but you are going to, like I said, a lot of upfront fees. You got to have a lot of storage spaces for that and so forth. Indie prints usually are using print-on-demand printers, where they buy the book at a low cost, not as low as a DIY, but they're able to buy it at a low cost. Of course, the more you order, the cheaper it is. But they don't make a lot of decisions about, they're set in stone about the decisions they got to make. They got to either choose this kind of book cover, or this kind of book layout, or another kind of book layout. Usually they're guarded by the decisions that they make, of depending on what printer that they decide to use. Next thing is author can use a literary service. And what the literary service does is actually they get the book project for you. They take your book, they do it, then they give the book back to you, and then they say, hey, bam, you're an author. Ta-da! That's a literary service. Things like Ex Libris, which I don't suggest you use. Things like, I'm trying to think of other horrible authors. What was that? There was the really horrible one. I usually don't suggest it. There are a lot of independent literary services where they're really trusted people who actually do birth books. I call them like literary doulas. They help authors go through the steps of birthing their book. And the author pays a nominal fee of maybe $1,500 to almost $3,000. I've seen $3,000. I've seen even more than that, $5,000, depending on what company you use. Some people say, well, I've done bestsellers, so they charge, the fees go up more and more, depending upon the person who's doing it. But these are literary services. So those are the three types of independent publishers that people use. So the next step, once you choose what type of publisher you want to be, and I usually say in the beginning, you should try to be, if you're just doing this on your own the first time, I would suggest becoming a indie print. That way you can you can free your hands of a lot of stuff. If this is your first time, a CreateSpace, when you're using CreateSpace, that would be indie print. And that's what I was going to get to. And when you're using indie print, you use companies like CreateSpace.com or Ingram Spark. Those are the two best companies I would suggest you use. CreateSpace or Indie Spark, where they make the hard technical decisions for you. You just fit within their parameters, and they can create a great product for you, get you the distribution that you need on using their resources, and go from there. Ingram Spark is a little bit more expensive than CreateSpace. If you don't know, CreateSpace is actually owned by Amazon. Yeah, I use CreateSpace too. I was using another type of Ingram. Ingram had actually another company, but now they switched to Ingram Spark. And I might use those for like my other publications that are coming out for 2017. But most times now, most of my books now most of my paperback books can be ordered through CreateSpace. So I do suggest, if this is your first time publishing, try the CreateSpace or the Ingram Spark. And then once you really learn about it. Now, what I always tell people before everything, and I kind of forgot to mention this at the beginning, before everything, now that you make that decision to be an independent publisher, you do need to get, I'm waiting for it to flip, you should get the Self-Publishing Manual by Dan Pointer. Rest in peace, Dan. This is like the Bible to self-publishing. And I tell authors or writers, read this from cover to cover. Get volume 1, which should be read, and read it from cover to cover. This gives you the detailed knowledge that you need to run your business. Just like you wouldn't open up a candy shop without going to candy conventions or reading books about how to open up a candy shop. You shouldn't be publishing a book without reading a book about how to publish a book. I'm amazed about how authors just say, oh, they just woke up one day and just decided to walk up in FedEx Kinko's and print the book. His name is Dan Pointer, Poynter. I'll actually try to put a link on the howtoebook.org after we get done. I better write that down too. I'll put a link on howtoebook.org so you can just click right through the link so I'll remember. Dan Pointer's book. You're welcome. Damn Pointers book. I wish I had like two other hands so I could just do it while I'm talking to you. That would be so cool. But you should read that book from cover to cover. That is like the Bible, literally the Bible to self-publishing books. Anyone who is teaching self-publishing classes, who is telling you how to self-publish your book, they should be telling you to read this book first before you do anything, before you invest any money anywhere. Go take $13 to the bookstore, go on Amazon, get the ebook version, and spend that $13 before you go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I can't tell you how many authors that come to me after they've taken mortgages out on their house, and they're like, well, did you read Dan Pointer's book? Well, nobody told me to. So you spend thousands of dollars on a hobby. Literally, it's just a hobby. You just wasted money because you have no idea what you're doing, and now you're stuck with a million books and don't know what to do with them, and you can't sell them. Yes, I've had that before. So now that we've decided what type of indie publisher we're going to be, we want to get into the really, really technical parts of editing and designing, which is, I always say, it's not a friends and family thing. Do not, just because somebody has an education in English does not mean they know how to edit a book. So make sure you are choosing professional editors to do your book. That is, professional book cover designers to do your book. Now, I'm going to give you a little secret because people, I'm going to tell you, book cover designers are really expensive. Really expensive. So, I'm going to give this off tip that's going to be available. So, what I did, because I actually was coming out with a whole bunch of books. I was just writing. I went on a writing spree in 2011, 2012, 2013. I literally went on, I was coming out with 8 books those years. I came out with 8 books. I had written books. Not came out with them. I had just written these books, and they were just sitting on my laptop, literally. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, I don't have the money, because usually a book cover designer, I'm going to be honest, a book cover designer is usually in the professional game. They're charging between $150 to $250 to design your book covers. Make sure the stock photos that they use, that they buy, don't just tell them to pull them off anywhere. Make sure they are purchasing stock photos that they have bought, not just borrowing from somewhere offline, because you can get in a lot of trouble for using pictures. I've seen pictures of actresses on book covers, and people have gotten sued because of that. So you can't use just any pictures. Make sure they're buying their book cover, their stock photos. If you want to go ahead and purchase your stock photos to ensure that they are using correct stock photos, you can go to istockphoto.com. istockphoto.com. Hey, Black Writer, how you doing? I hope you got my message on Facebook. Thanks for inviting. And don't forget, please invite your followers. Please invite your Twitter family, because I have not invited them. So make sure you're purchasing your own stock photos if you are unsure, if you want to be absolutely sure you're getting your own photos, because I've seen pictures where photographers have said, and I work with a lot of photographers, and they said, they were in the store, they passed by a book cover, and bam, their picture was on the front of an author's book cover, and they never gave permission for this picture to be distributed. One photographer was saying, he said that they literally just came to his site, downloaded the photo, and watermarked, cut out the watermark, and used part of his photo, and he knew it was his photo. And he was very upset. I've heard models say that, they've seen their picture. It was one girl, she was actually getting into the modeling game, and this was back when Facebook was present. And she said she saw her picture on a couple of book covers that it came out. Right. Oh, yep, definitely. Because people do take them, but authors can get in a lot of trouble, and you can lose a lot of money if you, hey, how you doing? Make sure you introduce yourself, because I don't know how to say your username. You can get in a lot of trouble using photos that, yeah, you can you can sue, and you can lose a lot of money and a lot of time trying to fight these suits and everything. That includes stock photos on your website as well. Make sure you are doing it. I've heard stories where people were sued close to $18,000 to almost $1 million, and they have to pay it back. I have some wedding images, and I'll be using book covers. Yeah, so I mean, and I don't suggest you take your own if you're not professional, but you can go to iStockPhotos.com. Literally, I have paid from $10 to $20 for great large size photos. So I have great photos on my covers, and I have gotten them from iStockPhoto.com. So you can go there and actually purchase them from there. And then what I do is, to help the cover designer do what I want him to do, but use his kind of creativity to do it, I make up a mock cover. So I actually go to Word, or I'll go to my own paint program and make like this real ugly mock cover. And I'm like, it's really elementary and everything, but I'll actually send that to him. And if you've seen any of my book covers back in the day, I used to actually come out with those because I couldn't afford it. And I'd try to, squeeze it past like a little free book or something. I'd like, oh, I could do it on myself. But I would actually take those ugly photos and then ugly covers, send them over to book cover designers once I could afford it.